Hey, what's going on? It's time for another Real Table podcast. We're on episode 11. The double ones, or double one. It is Saturday, May 4th. Yes, it is. Saturday, May 4th, 2019. May the 4th be with you. Ha ha ha. Very funny joke. It's only been said since 1978 or whatever. Because I think Star Wars came out in 77. So then 78, they had to have come up with that. There's no way that's a recent joke. There's just no way. In fact, they're doing, all the time, they do Star Wars Day at, sporting games. And sometimes they have Star Wars Day not on May 4th. And people are like, why do they do that? What's the point? And I kind of agree. Geez, that's a long pause for some water. If you're going to do Star Wars Day, you got to go all out. You got to commit. All right? If you can't do it on May 4th, then don't do it at all. You got to wait till next year. All right? If you can only do Star Wars Day once every few years, then go all out. Don't let people in unless they are dressed in Star Wars costumes or something like that. I don't know. I'm not in charge of this shit. I'm just saying. We're a minute 20 in, and I can tell this is just going to be another... Okay, first of all, it's 3 in the morning. I'm in my driveway, and I'm very tired again. Although my last podcast, I felt like it wasn't half bad, especially towards the end, when I started talking about Area 51 and everything. I'm still on that, all right? I'm telling you, no one would care about Area 51 if it was literally named any other number except for 51, because 51 is a scary number. I don't really know why. It just kind of is. You just have to accept it, all right? Oh, I didn't say this last week. I'm almost positive. Or last week on Wednesday. Since I'm doing 2 videos a week, not just one. I think maybe I have mentioned this before in the past. But apparently, I haven't seen it, but apparently there's a video. Oh, no, wait, I think I did see it. There's a video on YouTube of this guy crawling. I don't know how he did it, but he camouflaged himself in the Nevada dirt. And he's got a GoPro on. And he crawled. I hope the camera didn't pick that up. And he's literally crawling on the ground. And he's past the fences for Area 51. And he's crawling. But they have like sensors over there, I guess. So he has to move so slow. In fact, apparently, a guy told me he watched it. And he says in the description, he says he could only he'd have to literally move inches, like an inch in 10 minutes. Like, he had to move that slow. He was crawling for like 12 hours or something like that. Or even like a day. I'm not sure. It was a really long time. And then out of nowhere, you just hear a guy behind him go, "Excuse me, sir, what are you doing?" And these two, Area 51, security guys. And this guy is like lying on the ground, and you see the camera just turn around, and he's just staring up at these two guys. Like, what the fuck? What do you do? If you're that guy, if you're crawling in full-on camo inside Area 51 territory, and then you get caught, what's your excuse? What do? You can't be like, "Oh, shit, I thought I was in my own house. Shit, I thought I was in my own backyard. Oh, sorry about that." Or you could just be like, "Cocaine's a hell of a drug." Yeah, actually, if you say that, you'll either get off with a warning, or they'll just arrest you immediately. Just because you said the word cocaine. Man, cocaine, man. I don't know. So what do we got? It's the weekend. I'm going back to work at the restaurant. Finally. I've been working at the restaurant, but it's in the morning. And morning compared to night are 2 different vibes and everything. So I haven't closed in about a month. It's been definitely a couple weeks. I think it has been about a month since I've closed there. So it's going to be nice. It's almost like a little homecoming. I've been in, like I said, I work in the mornings there. I've been in at night a couple of times to check my schedule. I went in tonight to get some wings. To celebrate, let me say this. I may or may not have mentioned this before. I think I have, but so I took 4 classes this semester. 1 is done. My computer class that I was bitching about, or have been, that class is done. I'm passing that class. It's either going to be a low B or a high C. Whichever one, I'll take it. And then the other two was philosophy and then the music and world culture. Let me just say, I passed the philosophy thing, and I'm only bragging about it because I had a 70 in that class. Meaning on the exam, I had to get like a straight 100 or a 95. So my teacher somehow, she gave all of us in the class 1 extra credit point. So my grade went up to a 71. But I still had to get a fucking, like I said, an A minus, A plus, whatever on the exam. And you know what? Today, I took it, came through clutch, and I passed it. So bam, that class is done. Ow, my head really hurts. So now I just have to worry about this last one, this music class, and that'll be it. Got a 74. Don't really know if we're going to pass that one, but well, hey, you know what? Let's see what happens. What the fuck was that? Oh, it's my phone. Let me get rid of that. There we go. Phone did not stop recording. Cool. And I lost my train of thought. God damn it. We talking about classes. Oh, yeah. I remember. Because I told my mom, and actually both my parents, but my mom was like, really? Music and world culture? You can't pass that immediately? And it's like, well, it's not the class. It's the teacher. If the teacher's a hard grader, it could be the easiest class in the world. But if you got a teacher that grades hard, then yeah, the class is going to be labeled a little difficult. Yeah, and also it's one of those classes where the assignments are kind of spread out, so it's not like you have assignments every single week. It changes. Some weeks you have no assignments, and then some weeks you'll have like 3 or 4. So it fluctuates. So sometimes it's like if you don't do one assignment, it'll drop your grade so much. But if you do 3 assignments, it'll maybe raise your grade 1%. I don't get it. To this day, I still don't really understand it. I turn in all my assignments, my grade goes up 1%, maybe. I don't do one 10-point assignment, it drops 3%. You know, what the fuck? I don't get it. I mean, really. Why is a C like such a bad thing? Why do they treat a C like it's like not that great? What the? That's weird. Like in high school, I didn't get that. If you had like a C, they were just like, they treated you like you were an idiot. Like, why? A C is a passing grade. You know? If I had to give this country a grade, I'd probably give it a C. Like a C plus or whatever. Like, we're not failing in some parts. In some, we are. In some, we're doing pretty good. We're definitely, dude, the United States is definitely not an A plus, alright? You could maybe say it's like a B or B minus. That's what I'm saying. If it's like a B minus, and some parts, you know, maybe a C plus overall. Okay, overall. All right, that's what I'm getting at. Oh, thank God I got water. I could not do this without water. But I think I said this before too. I only got 1 D in high school, and it was the first semester in chemistry. I don't like chemistry. I don't like it. Because chemistry combines math and science and English. All 3 of those, you put it together and you get chemistry. So it's just really hard. And I don't understand why we have to take it. I don't understand it. Look, earth science, yeah, we live on Earth, makes sense. Okay. You know, biology, maybe. Let's learn about the human body. Okay, that makes sense. But why chemistry? Seriously, why chemistry? You're never going to use chemistry unless you're going to, become a chemistry teacher. So why do I have to learn it? Why do I have to drop and lower my GPA just to take a class I don't like, I don't know anything about, and I don't remember anything? The only thing I remember from chemistry is the sign for potassium is K. That's it. That's all I remember. Literally, that's it. Oh, isn't sodium like Na or something? I don't know, something like that. But I do remember potassium is K on the periodic table. Oh my God. That class gave me major stress. I think that was the only class my junior year that I was like always worried about. I could tell that class is going to be hard because in the first week we got down to it And I made note cards and I was studying and I still like barely passed like the multiple choice quiz. And I'm like, if the first quiz is already this hard, it's only going to get harder from here. And sure enough, it did. You know, junior year, if I don't think I've mentioned this before, but my high school career, let me just say this. Freshman year, hands down, best year of high school. I know that's really odd to hear, but yeah, my freshman year was great. It had it all. It had drama. It was intense in some parts. I went on fucking adventures. It was great. I was all over the place. Literally campus. I walked all over. I was hanging out with different groups all over the high school, in the cafeteria, in the hallways, in this part, in this classroom, in the back part of the school, in the bleachers, wherever. It was awesome. It was great. Later on after that, I started really just going to the hallway, or the library, and that was it. But yeah, you know, freshman year, you go and you're like scared and you're terrified. But maybe since I was in marching band and I went to the school early, that kind of like calmed down the worry or the anxiety or whatever. I'm not sure. Plus, you know, you did marching band, so you go and you do these competitions, and yeah, you lose your Saturdays and you're usually busy 6 days a week. But you go to these schools and you get to hang out and walk around with your friends and just make dumb jokes. Oh man, I got a bunch of stories from being in percussion, man. Let me tell you. Percussion has a rep, alright? And I'm not saying you have to live up to it, but you have a rep. If you're in percussion, you're not exactly the most well-liked by some people in the band class. Mainly the teachers and the section leaders, you know, like all the other, you know, adults there. And like, you know, like the flute section might not like the percussion because look, we're percussion. We're in the back while everyone's standing at attention, like they got to stick up their ass like they're in the army or whatever. We're in the back making fart jokes and just going or whatever. We're just making each other laugh. That's what we would do. We would try to make each other laugh. And then whenever they would laugh, they would have to run a lap or whatever, and we'd point and laugh, and then we'd have to run. And then the flutes and the fucking clarinets, they'd be standing there and they'd like give us dirty looks. It's like, whatever, dude. Calm down. You're doing this for a credit. If you weren't doing this for a credit, I'd give you some credit, okay? But you're not doing this completely for free, all right? But where was I going? I brought this up for some reason. Oh yeah, so freshman year was the best. Sophomore year was my worst. Sophomore year was terrible. And ironically, that was my best year for my grades. I think I almost got straight A's sophomore year. I think my 1B was in geometry. And even in geometry, I got an A in the first semester, I believe. Because I didn't do marching band, and that really kind of, you know, was a bad decision on my part. But I had more free time, so I just did my homework. And I was still miserable. But it really went to show, because freshman year, my grades were not very good. I remember how I almost finished a couple classes with some C's. And I'm like, I gotta step this up. I'm better than this. So yeah, sophomore year was terrible, wasn't good. I think that was the beginning of the I'm not feeling too good, you know, borderline like depression, you know, somewhat kicked in. Because that was the year that freshman year was also the best, because that was like the last year where social standards didn't really kick in. Because you're a freshman, nobody cares, you're just trying to survive. Then you get to sophomore year, then, you know, then it's like, oh, boyfriend, girlfriend, dating, and you drive a car yet? That's when that stuff kind of starts. And then junior year, some people are driving, and everything is just about who you're dating, if you are dating, if you're not. If you're single, then you're weird, you're weak, or whatever. And junior year was a better. It was a step in the right direction. It still wasn't as good as freshman year, but it was better. And then senior year was really good. In some parts, it was kind of a letdown or disappointment, but it was still good because I had a shorter schedule and I was a senior, even though I wasn't a football jock, so I didn't walk down the hallway with my stand all tall and wide with my shoulders up and whatever. I still felt like a freshman in some parts. compared to some other, people in my class that were, because that's a weird feeling when you're a freshman and you go, especially when you're at the same school, and then you become a senior, and then you can see that some people are actually literally like looking up to you, and you're like, dude, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I barely passed this. You'll be fine, but don't look at me. I'm not a good influence, kind of, maybe. I don't know. So it's almost like you look at like a band releases like their best album, and then a lot of times their follow-up is not very good. And sometimes their best work is followed up by their worst work. Sometimes, not every time, but sometimes. So then it's like the band's trying to go back to their roots, and they make an album, and it's like, yeah, it's pretty good, not as good as this one. And then they make another, and they're like, yeah, it's really good, but it's just not as good as this previous album or whatever. So that was like what high school was like for me. Freshman year, senior year, junior, sophomore. Sophomore year was terrible. Oh shit, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking of some things are coming back to me that I haven't thought of in years. Like, I took criminal and civil law. That was really interesting. Oh god, I watched an autopsy in that video. Like the teacher, I remember she had that little thing where you signed it and basically said, we're watching an autopsy. If you sign this, you can watch it. If you don't sign it, then don't show up to class. Or if you do, I'm just going to send you to the library. I probably should have just gone to the library and just got work done instead of watching it. Because I don't even think we got points for it, credit. It was just like, hey, this is a thing. It happens every day. You should watch it. And oh God, now that I think about it, I don't really remember too much. All I remember was thinking to myself, the human body, like, because they got scissors and they're cutting it. And I'm like, the thing's like gliding. It's like when you glide the scissors on Christmas wrapping paper and you're not even doing anything. That's what it looked like. And I'm like, oh God, the human skin is like that? Jeez, that's, oh God, really weird. I think I made it, but, oh jeez. Oh jeez. That's my Bill Burr right there. I've been saying that a lot recently. I've been noticing Bill Burr has been rubbing off on me. Some things that I say, I find myself saying because he said it like that. And it's not sayings, it's how he says words. Because he's also from Boston, he has an accent. So now I'm kind of saying words in an accent. Sometimes, not all the time, just sometimes. But yeah, back to that criminal and civil law class. I remember there's this really cute girl. Her name was Allison. And she was in that class, and oh my God, she drove me crazy. But I think she was like a year older than me, so I was just like, that's not going to happen. But she kind of made the class a little more doable. Like, that was the only reason I looked forward to that class. Which I think everybody had that. They had a class they did not like, but they had a crush on somebody. Whether a guy and a girl, or a girl and a guy, or whatever. And then what else? That class, or that year, I took my teacher for criminal and civil law was also my world history teacher. And oh my God, that teacher, she was weird. That was a fucking trip. I would not wish my worst enemy to be in one of her classes. That's how weird she was. Because at first, I don't know why, but at first the class was great. It was fine. She even liked me and everything. And I was actually going to take 3 classes with her. But one of them was like a computer class and it got canceled. So it's just down to 2. And at first I was like, oh, that's a bummer. I like her. But lo and behold, surely I was going to be proven wrong eventually. So then after that, I don't know what happened, but she just didn't like me. One day I walked in and she was just kind of giving me attitude and I literally did nothing. Like I came in on time, I was sitting down and she just kind of like was giving me attitude like I did something. And in my head I'm going like, what did I do? Did I do something wrong or what? But yeah, she's just weird, man. She's one of those teachers who she would make such a big deal about an assignment and then you do it and it was worth nothing. And then she would take like a small quiz and then she would make it worth like 50 points. And you're like, really? I think she even tricked us one semester. She put on an assignment. We did it. And then she told us that was our final exam. And we're like, why didn't you tell us beforehand? That's a little cheap. And I got the point she was trying to make. You should try and treat all your assignments the same. But even then, I feel like you should still give it a heads up or a warning or whatever. Yo, this is your final exam. You might want to, focus a little more on this one. But she didn't, so whatever. Again, I passed that class. I think I got a B in it. Maybe a C. I don't really know. Overall, I don't really know. I had a pretty good GPA. I don't know how, because all I remember was getting B's and C's. The only A's I got were like in PE, one semester geometry, earth science, biology, I think, and then, Spanish 3-4. Oh, that's another cool thing. When I went into high school, man, I've been talking about high school for a long time. I know something I could put in the description box for sure. Every time, dude, every time I have to write something in that description box, I struggle. I don't know what to write in there. But at least I got a high school, so we got that. And title. Sometimes I don't know how to title these things. And I lost my train of thought. Oh, no, I remember. So yeah, coming into high school, when we were signing up for classes, they said, you have to take 2 years of Spanish. And I'm like, I don't remember if I brought it up or they did, but before high school, I went to a private school. And in that private school, you had to take either Spanish or Latin. I took Spanish because what's the point of speaking Latin in Arizona, So basically, I had taken Spanish since first grade. 1st through 8th grade, all right? So they said, since he's taken 8 years of Spanish, he can do 2 years of Spanish in high school, or he could take Spanish 3-4 as a freshman and then get it done. So I'd be 2 credits ahead of most freshmen. And I was like, yeah, let's do that. I'll do that. Do a little extra work as a freshman to get, ahead. That's cool. And I did it. I was the only freshman in that class. Everybody else was either a junior or at least a sophomore or a junior, maybe even a couple seniors. And that class, man, that class got a little tense after a while because the teacher would literally talk in Spanish. I couldn't speak Spanish, and I'd really have to rely on my other, classmates. And, oh my God, there was a really cute girl. I had a crush on her. Her name was Jessica. We, 3 times, I think it was 3 or 4, but we would sit in a group of 4, and then every quarter we would switch up the groups. And somehow, thank God, the first quarter I got to sit, right in front of her. And then another quarter, I got to sit with her again. And again, she kind of in fact, we had to do an assignment, a group assignment. Me, her, and 2 other people. We had to write out a scene and act the whole thing in Spanish. So, of course, we were trying to come up with super basic one-liners. And I think we came up with, like, a restaurant. Me and her were like a man and a wife walking into a restaurant. And we had to place an order in Spanish. Jeez, that was a pretty hard class looking back on it. But I was able to pull through, and I only had to do 1 year of Spanish. And here's the kicker. I took 9 years of Spanish. 1st through 9th grade, don't remember anything. Legit, don't remember anything. When people ask me if I can speak Spanish, I usually just respond with muy si. Like, that's how bad it is. So anyways, enough from the high school voice crack. Enough with the high school bullshit. Let's get on to some bigger things. There are 2 things. One, I came up with the best dad joke. Alright? I don't know if this is the GOAT dad joke, but this is really good. For those of you who don't know what GOAT is, it means greatest of all time. Just in case somebody doesn't know. So basically the joke is, you ask somebody, hey, do you want to see my impression of the shark from Jaws? And then they go, yes. And literally all you do is you just look up and open your mouth. And just keep your mouth open. And that's it. That's the joke. It's so dumb. And I came up with it. And I'm very proud of that. And then anyways, more importantly, the Carolina Hurricanes, man, they swept New York. The Islanders swept Pittsburgh in the first round, and then they got swept in the second round. It's the fourth time in hockey history that a team swept in the first round and then got swept in the second round. Buffalo did it, and then the Blackhawks did it twice. So they're the third team to do it, fourth time in history. And it was a little bad because I was fine with the Islanders winning. But they play the Hurricanes, and I'd rather have the Hurricanes. So yeah, the Hurricanes, dude, they're in the Eastern Conference Finals. They're almost in the Stanley Cup. Carolina. How many out there knew Carolina had a hockey team? So what if they will play? The Hurricanes will play the winner of the Columbus-Boston series. That series is tied at 2. I really want Columbus to win. If the Eastern Conference Final is Columbus and Carolina, I will laugh. That would be amazing. Because I'd be fine with either team. Legit either team. Although I kind of want Carolina to win just to, have Carolina win it. That'd be pretty cool. But Columbus has never won it. Columbus has never even been to the second round. And now they're already in the second round. And then in the Western Conference, Dallas won tonight. So they're up 3-2 over the Blues. Don't like that. And then San Jose and Colorado, that series is tied at 2. Don't want San Jose to win. And that's pretty much it for hockey. Oh boy, here comes the yawns. Man, I'm gonna sleep good tonight. It's a good day. Woke up, took the exam, passed it, and then basically from 4 to 9 I watched sports nonstop because I watched the Carolina New York game, and then I watched the Diamondbacks play Colorado, and then I was also watching the Dallas St. Louis game. I was going back and forth. The Diamondbacks are 19-13. Dude, they barely, I cannot emphasize that enough, barely beat Colorado tonight. They had a 10-6 lead going in the 9th, and they gave up 3 runs. They won it by 1. Oh my God, it was so just stressful, but they somehow held on. So they're 19-13. They're still 1 game back from the Doyers. But they're playing good. They're playing a lot better than I thought they were. And you know what? I don't know. Those the Paul Goldschmidt trade in the offseason, it's not looking too bad. Especially since Goldschmidt's not really doing too great. And the Diamondbacks are just continuing on. Corbin's playing well. Pollock is getting an injury. Well, he got injured. Okay, so as an athlete, you go through injuries, and some injuries are worse than others. So this guy, A.J. Pollock, he used to be on the Diamondbacks. He injured his elbow twice. His right elbow twice, and had screws and a metal plate put inside, which is just... That stuff grosses me out to think about. Because it's one thing to get that and then live your life. It's another to get that and then play a sport. Especially baseball, where it's your whole body, you're running around, you're jumping against the wall, you're swinging a bat, you're getting hit by pitches, you're sliding in dirt or whatever, all that crap. So but the thing is, he has a history of getting injured. So the Dodgers signed him, and sure enough, he got injured. So it's like, he's your problem now. So, yeah, the Diamondbacks are exceeding expectations. And if they can just play like this the rest of the season, I'm not expecting them to win 100 games, not even 90. If they can play around 500 ball, maybe they have a shot at the wild card. I'm just really trying to take it one game at a time. Like I said, they swept the New York series, and they opened the first game in Colorado, which I'm going. Me and my dad are going to Colorado at the end of the month to see the Diamondbacks in Coors Field. So that'll be the 7th? Hold on. Chase Field. And then Oakland, Angels, Dodgers, Padres, Giants. Yeah, that'll be the 7th stadium that I've been to. 7 out of 30. That's one of my 30 minutes halfway there, boys. That's one of my goals before I die, is to go to every stadium and watch a game. Watch a game, not just go to every stadium, because I could easily do that. Well, not easily, but I could do that, but it wouldn't really mean anything. Oh, man. I'm looking forward to going inside and going to bed. What the fuck time is it? It is 3:40. Jeez. Might want to cut this a little short, because I'm really tired, and I do have work tomorrow, but it'll be back at the restaurant, so I gotta get back into that mindset, the restaurant mode. But, yeah, so what the fuck else is there to talk about? Maybe I should just end it now, because now, the next 5-10 minutes, I'm just gonna be sitting here thinking about, what am I gonna talk about? What am I gonna talk about? Well, it's May, so the summer's getting here, which means it's going to start getting hot, and I'm not looking forward to that. And now it's getting to the point where it's getting so hot, it's affecting my sleep. Like, I can't sleep under the covers. I have to have, like, one leg under the covers, one leg out, or kind of like, instead of having 2 blankets, just 1 blanket on me. Oh my God, it's just... I was telling somebody, she lives out of state. Well, actually, a few different people. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, you should come live out in Phoenix. And they're like, I can't last in that summer heat. And I'm like, well, here's the thing. It's dry heat. Okay? So it's not humidity. But I will admit, dry heat can get pretty bad. Especially when you walk outside and it's 115, 117 degrees out. And you have to drive at 4 in the afternoon, you can't touch your seatbelt or you're going to get 3rd-degree burns. You can't touch your steering wheel. You have to kind of come out and turn the car on and just let the warm, hot air blow, and then it'll get cold. You have to kind of do that shit. Almost like it reverse in the winter, where you have to let your car warm up. Well, in the summer, you have to let your car cool down. How ironic is that? You have to turn it on and wait for the cool air to start blowing. It's weird to think about. And I tell people this all the time, because I was born and grew up in Phoenix. I lived in California for like a year when I was like 5 or 6, but that doesn't really count. So basically, 22 of the 23 years I've been alive have been in Phoenix. Alright? What the fuck was that? No, I think I'm seeing shit. Where the rabbits at? We haven't had a fucking rabbit sighting in a long time. And I remember that was the one thing everybody loved about the first podcast was the damn rabbits. But yeah, I haven't seen them. Huh. Well, anyways. And great, I lost my train of thought. How the fuck is that possible? Damn it! Fuck you, rabbits, for distracting me, even though there wasn't a rabbit. Man, I lost my train of thought, and it was a good one. Whatever I was talking about, it was good. But oh well. What the hell? What was I talking about? I was literally just saying something, and then I thought of rabbits, and then it just distracted me. Oh my god, and I forgot the other thing. Oh my god, 2 things, and I don't remember what they were. Well, oh well, I guess we'll have to move on from it. If it comes back to me, I'll bring it up. Oh no, almost had it. Alright, well, let me say this. Once again, Adam Jones from Tool played a new guitar riff from the new Tool album. And now it's just like, I know I've said this before and you're probably sick of it, but what the fuck? Can you blame me? You gonna release a new Tool album or what? This shit's just getting old after a while. Release it or don't release it. Stop teasing us with it. How much money has been wasted? They've been saying they've been working on this shit for years at this point. You know, especially after 2015, when they had that lawsuit that they won. It was settled in their favor, and they said they were going right back to the album. And it's like, oh my God, that was 4 years ago. Actually, 2 days ago was the 13-year anniversary of 10,000 Days by Tool being released. Right? Yeah. 13 years. And here we are. We're closer, but are we any closer? I feel like we're still quite a ways away. Here's another yawn. Ah, jeez. I'm probably going to go right back in and just fall asleep. I don't think I'll last very much longer. Very much longer. What's wrong with me? But yeah, this is just like, just stop. This is an abusive relationship. Our relationship, society's relationship with Tool is just, this is abusive on their part. They keep saying the right thing to keep us from leaving. Right when we're about to leave, they do shit like this. They take pictures of themselves in the studio. You know, they're playing riffs you've never heard before. And then you go, hey, maybe this is it. Maybe this is the year. You know, because a main reason why women don't leave abusive relationships, whether it's physical or emotional, is they say they hope maybe he'll change. I have hope, maybe it'll change. And they just play the waiting game. That's why a lot of these relationships last 5 to 10 years, because they just wait. You go, why are you waiting? They're like, I'm just hoping that he'll change. Well, what? Look, I know hope is what rebellions are made of, or born from, or it's all they have, but come on. You know, as cliche as that is, and it came from, well, I heard it from Star Wars Rogue One, which is actually, I enjoyed Rogue One. When in terms of spin-off Star Wars, let's just steal money from people's pockets for as long as we can, because the Star Wars hype is dying. Last year, it was dying with the Han Solo movie, which was good, but it wasn't amazing. You know, I don't think that's an unpopular opinion, because it actually lost money. How about that? A Star Wars movie lost money. But yeah, what do they got? They got episode 9 coming out. I watched the trailer for episode 9. It looks, don't get me wrong, I'm gonna watch it, but what the fuck? Why is it called The Rise of Skywalker? He's dead. Well, what's the point of dying in Star Wars when they can still come back as ghosts? I like to watch what they do in the ghost world. Can they make a spin-off of that? Yoda, Luke, and Anakin, and Obi-Wan are just all playing Uno or something in the ghost world of Star Wars. And every once in a while, one of them would get up to go to the bathroom and come back to the real world and just visit, you know. I don't fucking know. But I would actually watch that movie more than real serious Star Wars movies. Just make a spin-off of them just chilling in the ghost world. And also, the one spin-off movie people want to see, Obi-Wan, with Ewan McGregor playing Obi-Wan, and they're not making it. But they made a Han Solo movie that nobody really wanted. And then they made they're going to make, well, actually, I don't really know. I heard it was not going to happen. But they were going to make a Boba Fett spin-off movie? Come on, dude. No one gives a two shits about Boba Fett. Not enough to watch a 2.5-hour movie. Jeez. What was that burp? Because that's the thing, you know they're going to make a 2.5-hour movie about Boba Fett. You know, just because a movie's long doesn't mean it's good. to quote Cinema Sins, why is that the new thing? Hey, let's make the movie, 15 minutes longer than average. That means it'll be better, right? No, it doesn't. If you take a movie that's on average an hour and 35 minutes and you up it to 1 hour and 50 minutes, that's almost 2 hours, dude. Like, deleted scenes are a thing for a reason, okay? Oh, what is it? I think it was Quentin Tarantino. He made a movie and somebody said, like, there's deleted scenes. And I'm like, there are deleted scenes in a Quentin Tarantino movie? They're already like 2.5 hours long. What scenes did he delete? He's the type of director that can't decide, so he just leaves it all in. He just goes, fuck it, I'm leaving it all in. Which, you know what? I don't know. He's only making 10 movies, and then that's it. And this is his 9th one. Oh my god. I think I've talked about this before, I'm not sure. But his new movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is way too long of a title, it's based on a true story or true events. And the Charles Manson murders are going to play a big part in it. Like, come on, dude. I'm not paying to watch you basically tell us what we already know happened. Create something. Make something up. We don't want to watch this, alright? I mean, we are, but shit. I mean, Leo and Brad Pitt's going to be in it, so that'll be interesting to watch us two, interact in a Tarantino movie. And they're the main characters, too. They're, like, side by side. So, like I said, it's going to be interesting. Oh, also, not too long ago, I watched the trailer for Toy Story 4, and let me just say, it looks unnecessary. It looks like there's a good story, like Woody's going to get his love story. Woody's finally going to, get some with Bo Peep, who just disappeared after the fucking second movie. Because she's not in the third one, I don't think. She was in the second, which sometimes I might argue the second movie is better than the first. I'm not sure. There's a time I like Star Wars, Toy Story 2 more than 1, but I'm probably going to have to go with 1. It's just a classic, and it's got some really good scenes. The scene in Toy Story 1 where the toys come to life and they surround Sid, I don't care who you are, how old you are, that scene is great, alright? Especially when Woody comes to life and he's like, so play nice, and then Sid just runs into his house. That scene's great. It is kind of creepy. Imagine you're a kid, or you're a bully kid or whatever, at 12, and you see your toys come to life and start walking towards you, especially toys that you, quote-unquote, tortured. But yeah, Toy Story 4, like, it's not necessary. This is just a money thing. It was so perfect how they ended Toy Story 3. The trilogy. Why are they bringing this back? This is like an encore for a band where you're like, dude, how you ended the song or the concert before was great. Why are you coming back out? The encore's not really that good. What the fuck? Oh, there's a car behind me. It's like driving really slow. Why did it just stop? Well, now I know what I'm going to talk about for the next 10, 15 minutes. Of why there's a... Oh, nope, there he goes. That's freaking weird. Well, I guess that's what I get for recording a podcast at fucking 3:30 in the morning. Is you just see some weird shit. And it's 44 minutes, so... I'm getting close to closing time. We're getting there. And I already talked about, I think even Toy Story. No, yeah, I did. Because we're talking about kids' movies and everything. But yeah, this Toy Story 4, it just, when they announced it, I'm like, why? It doesn't seem necessary. You guys ended it so perfectly. Why are you bringing this back? Just why? This is like an athlete who doesn't know he should retire. Or he knows it, but he just doesn't want to admit it. And he keeps playing, and you're like, this is so hard to watch. Just retire. please. I can't really think of any athletes, but there have been a few where they just keep playing and keep playing and keep playing, and they're like 3 years overdue. And you just want to send them an email saying, dude, I think you should hang up the cleats. You know, you can't run down to first like you could 5 years ago. You know, you just have to you got to call it a career, all right? You got to take the L and just retire, all right? Oh, man, I am really tired. And I'm not going to lie, about 5 minutes ago, I actually felt like I was going to fall asleep. What the fuck? Okay, you know what? I kind of need to stop recording these things at night, like outside, because anything I see, I just think there's like a friggin' shadow walking around. And I don't like shadows, okay? I think I said that before when I saw the movie Us, which shadows kind of play not a big part, but they are a theme in the movie. And I don't like shadows. I don't. They creep me out. You know, you see like this, you and your shadow is just a big, you know, sometimes a big, just like black, like figure, just mocking and doing everything that you're doing. It looks weird. Especially, I'll tell you, the Blue's Clues episode where they did the shadows. Blue is scared of the owl's shadow, which apparently I tried to draw that, because in the show, they draw the owl shape, and then Steve figures it out. And I tried to draw that for my mom, but I was terrible at drawing, so she didn't know what I was doing. And then she saw that episode, and she's like, oh, that's what you were drawing? And I was like, yeah. I think my mom told me the first picture I ever drew was carrots. And then the first picture my sister ever drew was spiders. I think. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, and here's a quick little funny story. Apparently, when I was younger, my mom said, hey, did you know how you tried to say rhinos... Oh, fuck. Nah, I can't even... Rhinoceros or whatever? I'm probably saying that wrong, but basically the word for rhino, just longer. And I said, how did I say it? And she said, buh, 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 buh. And I'm like, that's how I said rhino? It's not even close. There's no B in rhino. And she's like, yeah, that's how you said it. And I'm like, was I a dumb kid or something? Like, I'm already dumb now as an adult, but like, how dumb was I when I was a kid? Dude, thinking back, one thing I remember from my childhood was Mighty Beanz. Remember those things? Oh my god, those things were fun. Kind of. What the fuck was this big deal about Mighty Beanz? I remember, like, everybody was into Mighty Beanz. Everybody had them. You were trading. You were trying to get Mighty Moose. That was the big, most collective. The big collector's Mighty Bean that was super hard, super rare to find, even though you probably could have just gone on the computer and just bought one for like $10 or whatever. In fact, I'm probably going to look that up tonight or tomorrow. How much is Mighty Moose for Mighty Beans? But yeah, I just remember I would play with those things, and they would have like these little like racetrack things where you put a Mighty Bean on, you could like race them, because they had little marbles inside, or just a marble, and they would flip around. That was so weird. And I brought that up to my dad once, and he didn't like Mighty Beans because you would go to the store and you would see a pack of them, but you couldn't see them, you would just hear them rattling, and then he would buy them, and then I'd open it up, and I would have 5 out of the 6. And then I would just have leftovers. So in his head, it was just a waste of money. But it was still fun. It was still a little throwback to my childhood. Because I remember asking my parents for Mighty Beans, or money to go buy Mighty Beans. And they were always at the front of the store. If they weren't in the front, they were always in the back. But they always had some Mighty Beans in the front. What the fuck? I gotta look up Mighty Beans, like the history behind those things. Like, seriously. I might have to... I think I should call this podcast something with the word Mighty Beans in it. Oh man, the Mighty Bean. You know, one thing I wish I had on here on this podcast, I wish I had enough people listening that I can have a write-in and like read something, kind of like an advice, or somebody asks for advice, or they tell like a quick story and I can tell my opinion on it or whatever. That would be really cool. But I think I only have like 11 subscribers, which, hey, we're getting there. We're only like a billion away from making a profit on this. Oh, so we're at the end. So let me review a Metallica song. Jump in the Fire by Metallica. It's the 4th track on their first album, Kill 'Em All. Yeah. Is it 4 a.m. yet? Oh, it actually is 4 a.m. Jeez. There was Jump in the Fire by Metallica. It's fast. It's like so it's like something like this. Pretty fast. Not too fast beat. And I read that Lars said they wrote that song and the drums were written in a way that was like compared to Iron Maiden's Run to the Hills. And when you listen to Run to the Hills and Jump in the Fire, the drums do sound exactly alike. Except the drum fills are a little different in Jump in the Fire. I can play Jump in the Fire. I've played it before, but it does kind of work out my right hand, so I do need to be warmed up to play that song. So that song does fall under the category... There's another yawn. Jeez. That song does fall under the category of I do need to be warmed up to play this song. And you know what I'm thinking about right now? I'm thinking about what the fuck am I going to write in this description box? Definitely high school and Mighty Beanz. But what the fuck else am I going to put in there? I don't know why I fucking struggle with this so much. It's just 3 things I talked about within the last hour and my mind comes up completely blank. Like, come on. You gotta be a special kind of stupid to not... You can't even come up with 3 things. 3 things you just talked about in the last hour and you can't remember 3 of them. Like, seriously, what the fuck is wrong with me? Also, I'm pretty tired, too. Like, extra tired. It's almost 4 in the morning. I've been going to bed really early. Well, really early for me. I've been going to bed, like, around 1:30, 2 a.m., which is... That's early for me, alright? I haven't gone to bed before 1 in such a long time. I think I did once recently. Like, I turned the lights off at, like, 12:55. But I was still up until like 1:15. Oh man, I remember the days where I'd wake up at 10 a.m. 10:30 was like sleeping in. 10:30 was like, oh shit, I gotta get up. I don't want my parents coming in here waking me up. Here's another yawn. Oh my god, I gotta stop soon. These yawns are starting to get out of control. Another sign that I should not be recording this late because yawning is incredibly rude on the podcast. And the Table Nation deserves better than that. I've had a couple people come up to me and ask me about, like, why is it table? And I'm like, you gotta listen. You gotta listen to the podcast, man. You gotta, listen to that to explain it. Because if I tell you, then you're not gonna listen. But if you listen, then I'll still get the view. Well, also, you need to... So, in order to make a profit on YouTube, you need 2 things. You need at least 1,000 subscribers, which is really hard to get. And then you need at least 4,000 hours viewed on your videos, which that's, pretty hard too. So when I tried to do that for Rush Bauer, I found out I needed subscribers. But here's the funny part. The hours, 4,000 hours viewed, I was at 15,000 from their, when they ran the numbers. So that was good. I was all good in that department. So I finally got the 1,000 subscribers, and YouTube's like, all right, we'll let you know if you qualify. And sure enough, fuck me, jeez. Sure enough, I was not eligible to make money on YouTube because, and I told my buddy this, who told me about this. He's like, hey, hey, you know what? You can make money on YouTube. And I'm like, no, I can't. These are drum covers of other people's songs. If I do make money, it goes to them. He's like, well, yeah, you can. And I'm like, okay, it's not going to work. And sure enough, it didn't work. And I'm like, there you go, dude. But yeah, I was pretty disappointed because so what I did was I would wait until a band released an album. And then I would go out and buy that album and then immediately release lyric videos for that, new album that came out for 3-4 songs on that album. So when people typed in lyrics for this song, my video came up first. That video would get a lot of views, hence I would get a lot of views and I would possibly get subscribers. But again, I don't make any money. Unless I were to make so much money, I would also give the owner of the song some money, but I would also keep some for myself. But like I said, I don't make that much. And you know what? I'm going to cut this one a little short. Not quite an hour, but hey, you know what? I will gladly take 56 minutes. It's a good run. I'm really tired. I'm going to go in and get some sleep. I got to find out what the fuck I'm going to write in the description box for this video. So anyways, I'll see you next Wednesday when I check in on you. Until then, get laid. Jeez. All right, here we go. Signing off. Bye.